morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is, and welcome back to Geek Mythology here, hosted by my friend here, Seth, also known as Sugi on YouTube.
And Sow, who is the co-host of this show. So, welcome to episode 10 of the Geek Mythology podcast, and it's Christmas next week. Well, not for us.
Is it? Is it though?
We're recording in like October, but by the time this episode comes out, it's Christmas next week. So
it's the Christmas episode.
Yes,
essentially.
We're going to be talking about Christmas and the holidays and
as well as a certain topic that Seth would like to talk about today.
Yes, I shall talk about.
Rather interesting in terms of me. But first, Seth.
Oh, right.
What's not to forget?
What am I forgetting?
Do you think you're forgetting?
Yes, I think I remember now. The joke. So, here's the joke. Who is Santa's favourite singer?
Mrs. Claus.
Well, I assume that his wife is a pretty good singer, but well, the punchline to this joke is Elvis Presley. But
I don't know if you can even hear that. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah.
Elvis Presley, like, you know, rock and roll guy. So Christmas. But before we move on to Christmas, I do want to mention the topic. Right, okay, yeah.
Okay, you mention your topic, then I'll mention what I was going to say.
Okay, so the topic I wanted to mention before we move on to Christmas is that I finally watched an anime.
One episode.
Well, one episode.
I assume it was the full episode. Was it the full episode?
I watched the whole episode of this anime.
Question. Did you skip the opening?
No, I did not skip the opening. I watched the whole thing. And, well...
It's one that people would suggest people to get started on, but I guess for you it was a shock after what you've watched recently, right?
I did talk about this on Discord with Sal, and I was not ready for it.
Yeah, I guess under different circumstances you'd be fine with it. It's just with what you've been recently consuming.
So I watched the first episode of Attack on Titan, and well, it's very emotionally heavy.
I don't know if it's emotionally heavy. I haven't seen it personally. I have not yet seen it.
It's very graphic.
Graphics is one way to put it.
There's lots of death and
yep, sounds about right.
And there's like blood.
Somebody got eaten in front of their children, apparently.
Yeah, some guy got eaten by a titan, which are these giant people.
Okay, so first off, I think the main thing to ask you is, the main thing that some people talk of is the animation style, or like the anime style of animation. What did you think of that?
I mean, it was really very like realistic, I think. It's good. It's good.
Forget the gore. I mean, just in general, like the art style, the animation style. Okay. How did you like it?
I don't know. I do like it.
I know in certain episodes, Attack on Titan has some great visuals, but I don't know if the first episode has that.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of anime in general, the graphics are okay. It's better than some of the cartoons that I've watched, but I still prefer like
the thing is,
more
cartoons
kiddie
are meant to be like cartoons.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Attack on Titan.
I'd say in terms of anime,
yeah.
I was gonna say in terms of anime, even Pokemon has some amazing animations.
No, Pokemon. I mean, I haven't. I've seen a few episodes of Pokemon, but like I got into it.
Yeah. But, like, no, I mean, like certain times it's visuals. But what do you think about this Attack on Titan?
So in terms of the animation, it's very very realistic, and I don't know if that's a good thing, but in this case, it just made it a bit more deep and a bit more like.
Okay.
A bit more heavy, I'd say.
Oh, this is a good question to ask you.
Yes.
Actually, you didn't mention this. Did you watch it subbed or dubbed?
Dubbed.
Okay, so what did you think of the voice acting? I guess that's what I have to ask.
No, it was very good voice acting. Like, as I said, like it's really like real. It makes you uncomfortable because of the story and what just happened, because like the voice acting is really good. So you
And
feel,
the gore is the reason that I was put off of it a
yeah,
few years ago
it's
when
very,
I found out
yeah.
about it. I was going to mention one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't expect you to try Attack on Titan first. I thought you'd genuinely try something like Doctor Stone instead.
Thing is,
Uh,
people just talk about it, and the people I hang out with always talk about it. So I was like, I do want to understand and like get into this conversation, and this fandom. So I was like, I'll try it. But I made the mistake of trying it as my first anime.
yeah, I'd say if you're going to watch an anime next, please try Doctor
Doctor Stone,
Stone because
yeah.
as us grammar school quote unquote smart kids.
So yeah, Doctor Stone is like
Doctor Stone
this.
probably in terms of science, it's not like the most advanced science they talk about, but it's the sort of stuff we're like, yeah, that makes sense, or like, is
Would
that
you
true? Sort of stuff,
would you say it's more science than fiction, or would you say it's more fiction over science?
Oh yeah, no, everything they do is based on science.
Yeah, because like some science,
Everything they
yeah,
do, there is no fantasy science. It is all real life
real science.
science.
That's
Give
good.
or take,
Yeah.
give or take, the characters are either unnaturally strong or really smart. Like the only fictional thing there is the fact that some characters shouldn't be as strong as they wouldn't be that strong if it was real life.
Yeah. Thing is with science
That's the only
fiction.
fantasy is that. Okay,
Yeah.
can I? The
Yeah.
only fantasy in the show I'd say is how strong some characters are physically. It's the only
Hmm.
unnatural
I
part of
mean,
it. Otherwise,
yeah.
everything is scientific.
Thing is
Everything is based on
with science
science.
fiction, there's like half of science fiction is either more fiction than science, like Star Wars,
Yeah.
and some science fictions are more science than fiction. And there are some really like cool science based things out there. Like Interstellar.
It's definitely it's not science fantasy, but it's science fiction.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars is more science fantasy, is how
Fantasy,
I
yeah.
put it. Uh,
Yeah.
it is
Anyway,
fantasy, right?
back to
But
Attack on
yeah.
Titan.
Anyway,
Very deep,
what
very
what else is there you wanted to say?
I was gonna say it's just
'Cause
like, oh yeah, I was gonna mention I'm not used to it, okay? So that's why I can't get
yeah.
into it and I am a bit
Oh
put
yeah,
off by
yeah.
watching it. It's because I've been watching Gravity Falls, Star versus
Yeah,
the Forces of
you
Evil.
mentioned
I've been watching like shows made for 6-year-olds. So watching this more mature show is a bit off-putting and a bit, ooh.
yeah.
Mm.
You mentioned in DMs how you were getting used to like kiddie shows, like well
Yeah,
not kiddie shows, but like not gore shows. Like you were watching Gravity. To be fair, Gravity Falls has some things, but not
I
much.
mean,
Nah.
Gravity Falls doesn't have much violence, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like there's no death. If there is death, it's not a shown death, it's like an implied sort of thing.
Yeah. I'd say the goriest thing is when Mr. Northwest's face holes were
Yeah.
shifted around. That's probably
Star
the worst
Star versus
ones.
Force of Evil, as far as I've seen. I've only seen season 1 so far, but there's
Really?
yeah,
Finished it?
I haven't finished it. Well, as of
Okay, I was
recording,
about
I
to
haven't
say.
finished it.
Because I'd say if you'd finish it, you wouldn't really call it absolutely kiddie, you know.
Right.
Just all I'm gonna say.
But so far, there's no death. Like
Anyway,
when they fight people, like they don't fight to the death. They fight till they get tired essentially, and they just give up, and then the bad guys leave. That's essentially what happened. Kipo, there isn't death in Kipo.
uh,
Um, like when they shoot people, we did talk about this in an episode. But in Kipo, when they like shoot the mutes, they don't actually die. They just get turned into animal form. So there's no death in that show. And then like probably the most fighty sort of thing that I've seen is probably Avatar: The Last Airbender, and even that is not very graphic. Is there death in Avatar? I don't even remember.
yes, definitely.
I mean, yeah, but do they like show it? That's the thing.
They don't show it.
There
I
is,
feel like
yeah.
somebody was stabbed, but I
Ah,
can't remember it.
oh, they made a joke about it actually. Um, so I think Nickelodeon didn't want to have death in the show, obviously, because it's like a kids show. So when they wanted to kill off Jet, they had to do it really vaguely, and then they like made it a joke in the Ember Island play, where one of the I think someone said that it was Jet's death was really unclear, and that was like a meta sort of joke.
I guess the only other death I could think of where the person might have actually no, he didn't die. He came back. Never mind.
Who was
I
that?
was thinking about the guy who was originally teaching Aang firebending.
Oh, that
But he came
guy.
back. He came back.
Master
He came
someone.
back.
Yeah,
He came back with the
yeah.
White Lotus. But yeah.
So
Is
yeah.
there anything else you want to say in terms of shows in this episode?
Nope, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to say that I am not used to all this like gore and stuff. So when I watched Attack on Titan, it was really off-putting. Basically, I do want to mention how I watched Stranger Things, like back in March,
Earlier this year, yeah.
like many months ago. That was quite graphic, but like I haven't seen that sort of stuff like recently, so
Yeah.
I kind of forgot what it was like basically to watch all this like stuff.
Honestly, I when I first started watching stuff like blood would put me off. Now I'm realizing in anime blood sort of exists every now and then.
I mean,
You know,
with Stranger Things, it
anime
was
blood is definitely like
yeah.
more realistic than cartoon blood.
Thing is with
That's
Stranger
for sure.
Things, with the deaths, there wasn't the emotional impact. It was graphic, but
There was no emotional
no, I mean
impact.
like it was the okay. Apart from one character, the deaths that I remember were like of supporting characters. They weren't, you know, you didn't feel as much. But with Attack on Titan, it was this mother who died, who got eaten, and her
Pretty sure
kids,
she had the hairstyle as well. So
and
if anybody understands that joke,
the kids were like watching their mother get eaten. Okay, so
mother.
that sort of situation, there is a big emotional impact which I felt, and yeah, not good.
I was gonna say, are you done with shows? Is that all? I just wanted
I think that's
to.
pretty much it. Unless
Yeah,
you wanted to
I was
bring
gonna say
something up.
we're gonna talk about Christmas this episode,
Yeah.
right? Also, it's October, right?
Yes.
So
Well,
there's another event happening. There's
Halloween.
another tradition. Yeah, so we could briefly mention that as
Mm.
well. Like briefly mention our experience or lack thereof with
Okay, so
Halloween.
okay, so we'll dedicate a few minutes to Halloween. Have you done trick or treating?
Well, I said lack thereof because I've
All
really
right.
never done
Have you?
Halloween.
All
Is
right.
what I was
So
gonna say.
I'm gonna say that I
Yeah.
until well for a good chunk of my younger childhood, I've been doing trick or treating pretty much every year. And I used to even like go to these Halloween parties because my neighbor had basically their birthday was like on Halloween, so it was like a birthday party slash
Oh,
Halloween
that's neat.
party.
So
So
like fancy dress party.
yeah, like a birthday.
Terms.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a birthday party with fancy dress, and then at night you go trick or treating. Yeah, that's
That's
basically
cool.
my experience. I haven't done it
Yeah.
recently,
But I'll be
apart from
honest.
yeah.
I, I feel like there is a definite possibility that when I'm older, if I'll just go trick or treating. I don't care if I'm 20. I'll go trick or treating.
Uh,
Well,
I do
I'll be
wanna
doing cosplay as well, so
I
I'll
do
have
wanna
some. I'll try and
like
do
yeah.
cosplay. But yeah.
It's just like finding people to go. I mean, it's a bit weird, like doing trick or treating and like everyone else is like 8. I
See
guess.
that's the bad. That's the thing. Like, there's sort of mindset that you can get too old to trick or treat, but I've never gone trick or treating. You got to give me at least 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, that's just. I thought like we can't just be in October talk about Christmas and not mention Halloween. To
Thing
be
is, I've
honest,
never cosplayed in my life. When I did Halloween,
I've never cosplayed in my
I've
life
dressed
either.
up as like a vampire most of the
Oh,
time.
yeah,
So I've never cosplayed, and I
yeah,
do want to cosplay at some point.
yeah. On the mention of on the mention of cosplay, who would you want to be your first cosplay if you were to cosplay?
It keeps
Or would you want
changing.
sort of, or do you know, like, say a Star Wars thing? Would you want it to be a cosplay of a character or your version of a certain role in the films, like your version of a Jedi
I'd say it
or
might be
your
easier
version,
to do like an own character cosplay, so like a generic
original
Jedi
character? So, like, I
robe
don't know,
guy.
Jedi Sugi, Master Sugi.
Master Shugi, yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah.
yeah. But for me, if I were to answer my own question, it would either be a character from a show called Ruby,
Mm-hmm.
or it would be Ash Ketchum. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, those are the two I'd think about doing.
So moving on from Halloween, another holiday, which
Ooh,
is next
Christmas.
week, is Christmas. So
Yes.
um Christmas is one of those times which I really look forward to. Not like mainly because of the vibes. If that makes sense. Like when you go out shopping,
Yeah, yeah.
when you go out
I
shopping
oh yeah,
or at
yes,
school.
yes. When I go out shopping, of course. I'm sorry. I'll let you talk. I'll
Right,
talk about
anyway.
me later. You talk.
So when I go out shopping or at school or like even at home when you're watching TV and stuff, there's just Christmas vibes. There's music, there's decorations everywhere, and and movies and things that you watch, and I just like it's just like this vibe of I don't know how to describe it, but like fun.
I get it. I get it. But I was gonna say,
Yeah.
do you want to say like any personal experiences that you could generate, like a good memory you have from Christmas, previous Christmases,
Okay, I'm
like
trying
a
to think
certain
of
year where you got like a good gift or like you just had a good time?
I'm trying to remember a good Christmas because okay, all Christmases are good. I'm just trying to think of one that particularly stands out. Uh, well, I do
Yeah.
remember one time I went to the Philippines during Christmas, which was
Oh,
different.
that's cool.
It's very different because normally
Yeah.
it's cold, but in the Philippines it's hot.
Yeah.
So like Christmas, you generally spend it outdoors, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, uh, well, yeah. There's like less. So right in the UK and in America, I assume there's a big emphasis on like presents and Santa and stuff, and
Yeah, definitely.
like materialism. The Philippines, it's more like family and like more
Yeah.
community based, I'd say. So they've got like it's just different vibes, but both are
Yeah.
good vibes in my opinion. I like both.
I'd say for me with Christmas, right? Um, it was definitely a bigger thing when I was younger,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
For me, because when I was younger, like a few years in a row, we'd go to my uncle's house and we'd go there, have a Christmas dinner,
yeah.
watch one of the Harry Potter films, really,
Mm.
like, every year. And I'd be most excited because they'd have ice cream cake, and I love the ice cream cake.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
a few years, we invited people over to our house for like Christmas party, like two or
Yeah.
3 years when I was younger, and
Mhm.
that was nice because one year, I don't know, I one year I got Pokemon Black, which I cherish because it's the only Pokemon game I played.
Right.
Another year, another year, my sister and I really only got like a traveling mug, both of us, because
Yeah.
my mum's probably not the best at presents, but basically, when I was younger, Christmas was definitely a bigger thing. Nowadays, and like when I'm older, it's probably the only thing. Like in year 8, we had Secret Santa, that was nice, but nowadays, like Christmas just isn't a big thing for me at all.
Yeah. I mean,
Personally,
like I remember when I was younger, like counting the amount of presents was really important. I don't do that
yeah,
anymore.
no, like yeah, I never really got presents in the first place, to be honest, as
Yeah,
well.
I mean like
So yeah.
like most of the time it was clothes and stuff. Um, but
you
like
you
yeah,
can you can tell for I could say for me, and you can tell when it comes to traditions or events like birthdays, they're not big things, even really, like they've never been huge things.
yeah,
Now, especially, like when I was younger, I'd invite friends over and I'd get presents from friends, but nothing really from my family,
yeah. I normally get them during Christmas rather than my birthday, I'd say.
I lucky, lucky. I envy
Basically,
you.
like on my birth, I don't
Yeah,
my birthday. I probably only get money by my parents, and that's pretty much
yeah.
it because I haven't done a big party in ages.
Cut yourself lucky. You still get money. This is
Yeah.
just all my envy of everybody who still gets stuff for their birthdays, whether it be money or otherwise.
hmm
Just yeah. But for me,
Yeah.
I was gonna say in terms of Christmas, there's one thing we share around Christmas time, at least for the past 4 years, is
And
concert. That's one
concerts,
thing that
yeah,
comes around for
yeah.
us.
I before we move on, I just want to say when I get money, it's well
Yeah.
before when I was younger, it was like, oh wow, you've received money. Now I'll take it for safekeeping, and you'd never see the money again. Basically,
Oh, yeah. No, whether it be for my birthday, just quick rant,
yeah.
quick. Um, Earlier this year, back in January, my cousins from South came over and gave me like £55 of
Mm-hmm.
birthday money. Right, that
Mm-hmm.
was the only thing I got. Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to know where that all went?
Yeah.
Tuition money.
Ah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Went to my tuition. So I think that's when I really started thinking. You know what would be good? A job.
Mm.
That's
Mm.
when that was around the time I really started thinking I should get a job if I want anything for
Yeah.
myself.
Anyway,
Well,
you
yeah,
mentioned Christmas
but
concerts. I
yeah,
think
that's something we share together.
so. Like, yeah, this is a more recent thing, and I love Christmas concerts. So a bit of context. Me and Sal are both in choir. And every year, there'd be like a concert during Christmas time for the school, and we'd sing like a Christmas carol, like a Christmas related song, and like another song. Doesn't have to be Christmas
Yeah,
related. I do remember
I
my
yeah.
favorite one was when we sang Frozen songs.
Oh, yeah, no, that was great because I'm pretty sure it was the same year, earlier that year, is when I first watched Frozen as well,
Yeah,
possibly. Like in year seven, I watched Frozen, and in year eight, Christmas is when we were singing Frozen
yeah,
songs,
that
and I
was
was like,
yeah.
it was so like hype, I suppose, really.
Thing is, I
Uh,
remember this was when I first joined choir, and when you're like
same,
13, you're
same.
like you want to be cool. So when when they said we're doing Frozen, I was like, oh great, Frozen. As like an
Oh, you were like,
as like an no,
that
as
thing.
in like an exterior facade. But inside, I was like, it's
You're like,
actually quite fun.
hell yeah,
But then, like when you do it, you
yeah,
begin
I get
to
that.
to really like Frozen, and yeah, basically,
See, I think it was great because there especially like the Frozen Heart song. It's not a song people go like, oh yeah, that's the song from Frozen. It's just sort of the thing they sing at the start and you forget about it.
yeah, some
I think
songs aren't.
because
Yeah,
yeah, because
there's
we sang
yeah.
it, it stuck with me more. I was like, oh, I like that song,
You know,
sort of thing.
I'm gonna admit I did not remember that song. The intro song, like to Frozen.
On a cold and winter air.
Yeah, that. And there's like another
Yeah,
song,
I'd say
Fixer
what
Upper, which I kind of
what's what.
forgot over time.
Oh yeah. What would you say is your favorite out of the 4 years we've done Christmas concerts?
Okay,
Out of like maybe
I'd say Frozen was the best, and maybe as the second favorite Christmas concert, it was the most recent one where we did that like cool Jingle Bell song.
what other songs did we do
I
that
don't
I
remember,
can't remember?
but this Jingle Bell
'Cause
song, which was like,
did we do less did we do Miserables?
oh,
That thing.
oh,
Was that in Christmas?
no, I
Did we
don't
do that in Christmas?
remember. There
I
is one
I
Christmas
hate when I
song.
can't remember.
There is one Christmas song which we did. I think that was when that was 2 years ago. Like so, the Christmas of 2018, and
Billion Dreams.
we sang that. It was a Christmas song with like this big choir sort of choral song, right? And at the end, there was this giant long note we had to sing, and in a big harmony,
Yes,
and
yes,
it
yes,
was
yes.
like this.
It's from Edward Scissorhands.
Oh,
It
okay,
was
there
from
was that one
Edward
as well.
Scissorhands.
But like
Oh, are you talking about the choir thing
the
or
choir
the
thing, the choir
joint
song,
thing?
right?
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
we sang this big like chord and big harmony at the end, and like it was a slow build
Uh,
up to this giant like majestic moment, Even for the audience, it
Wait,
must have been quite emotional. But even I was finding this emotional. Do you remember?
Seth.
Yes,
Seth, I think I remember what the other song we did earlier this year was at
it
Christmas.
was like
Bohemian Rhapsody, wasn't it?
no, that was last year.
Or was
So
that last spring?
last spring.
I want to remember what we did last Christmas, but I think it was fun because I think I like the year we did A Million Dreams because that was
Ah,
just a
yeah, that
nice
was
song.
fun. Yeah.
I still haven't finished the film, but it got me into liking Greatest Showman songs at
Oh,
least.
yeah, but okay, you brought up Edward Scissorhands. That was another song we did, and
Yeah,
that was like with everyone. So in the Christmas concert, there was an orchestra, there was another choir for the younger
that was a
kids,
cappella
a cappella, and basically they got everyone um to do this like
company, the orchestra,
to sing
essentially.
this Edward Scissorhands song with the choir and the orchestra. That was fun.
Quite
Yeah.
beautiful though, the song itself. It is quite a
Oh,
nice
oh,
song.
the most recent one, we had something similar with Home Alone, and we sang that.
Oh yeah, we did the
And
Home
what was
Alone
funny was
thing.
there was this like confetti cannon. uh,
Oh, oh, both years he got her.
so like they never told us there was going to
Oh
be a confetti
no,
cannon, but at the end of the concert,
he
the
told
confetti
no
cannon
one.
fired, and we all got jump scared.
Not
And
not only 1 year, 2 years
two years.
that new music teacher has been here.
And thing is, like,
He's a great guy,
I
but
didn't.
that's the only thing
Yeah.
I'd hold against him.
I didn't even notice that that was a confetti cannon. I assumed it was like a microphone or something, or some sort of musical apparatus. I did not know it was a confetti
Actually,
cannon.
yeah, but a Christmas concert, spring, they're just fun as well, especially hanging out in the
Mm-hmm.
canteen as well.
Yeah. Oh, but what's
Of
worse
course, yeah.
was that
What's worse? What's
I
worse?
stand right next to the confetti cannon.
Oh,
And
yeah,
also the
yeah,
head
yeah.
teacher who comes to watch is at the front row, so he's also like really near to the confetti
Oh,
cannon.
this year, because it was this year he was the new head teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I mean.
And well,
Was his first year at a concert, wasn't it?
that was quite fun to watch.
I saw him jump and I was like, oh sir, I am sorry.
So yeah,
Yeah. I'd say the other good memories we have from concerts is when we're not performing and we're in the canteen.
yeah. So when we're not
That's
performing,
always
we're in
good.
the canteen, like waiting. It's kind of like backstage, the
Yeah,
canteen
basically.
basically.
And of course it's I will say one thing, Seth. Um
Yeah, yeah.
what it is like, especially this last year, right, when you all joined a cappella, it was kind of lonely, I'll be
Oh,
honest, when you guys had to go. And also, you guys were watching Mandalorian, which I did not want to watch illegally,
oh.
personally.
The thing is,
But
yeah.
I was
Okay.
into it as well. Yeah.
In
But
our
it's
defense,
fun.
in our
In
defense,
your defense,
Disney Plus was not out in the UK,
the UK.
and like I am not gonna wait a few extra months to watch watch it. So
Yeah. Especially since there was probably not a chance you're going to get Disney Plus unless it was
you
like
might have to
some sort of
use
thing.
like a VPN and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
What did I say? I didn't say anything. Anyway,
I never said anything, but you guys were enjoying a show.
it was hard to
But
watch though
yeah, no, it's
because
always fun. The concerts are always fun,
yeah,
like whether it's
oh
performing or
yeah.
in the
hmm
canteen.
So
Yeah. But
there's
in terms of generic Christmas stuff, nah, I'm
no.
kidding.
I also before
No
that
generic
we
Christmas
have
stuff.
something
But,
similar.
what else? Do you?
So we have this like it's apparently a school tradition to have like an assembly during Christmas
Oh
where
yeah,
we
yeah,
sing
yeah, yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
songs and with the whole school. So this isn't
Oh,
like
wait, yeah, no, it's the whole school now. Before it was just like lower schools who
yeah,
did it, I think.
yeah.
But then last year, the new head teacher decided, hang on,
Let's have a giant
wouldn't it be fun
assembly.
if every single year? I did like it though.
That
It
was
was
fun.
fun. It was funny.
Again, with
Yeah,
there's like this atmosphere of like of Christmas, there's just like there's these
yeah.
vibes, and when you gather everyone into one room and just sing Christmas songs and do all sorts of stuff, yeah, pretty fun. Um, Shame it won't happen this year because of coronavirus,
Yeah.
but
But do you know something we still have
what
in terms of
do we still have?
end of Christmas term, end of winter term? We still have where we just hang out with the form for a
Yeah,
period as well, an
like
extra form period.
I do want to talk about this because I had this form tutor, um, who didn't really do much in terms of like parties and Christmas parties and stuff.
Yeah,
But I know that
it's
some
a
classes had Secret Santa and Christmas parties and
yeah.
stuff.
Do you know what we did for like 2 years in a row in year 8 and 9 when we had the same form tutor?
Mm-hmm.
We just watched Citizen Khan at the end of winter term. We
Oh
just watched an
right.
episode of Citizen Khan. It's this BBC show, and it was
Yeah.
just kind of funny
Oh, have you seen the Christmas Citizen Khan?
as well. But
Where
yeah, but I think
basically,
this
yeah,
year,
yeah,
end of Christmas, I say this year it should be a bit more fun. Honestly, maybe, possibly.
maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're in the same form actually, so yeah,
yeah.
we can make it fun.
I
We
think
can make it fun.
we've got our teacher is the type of person who's gonna, if they don't set up a fun party, the teacher would let us set up our own fun party. I think she's that type of person.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna have a fun
Do you
party.
think we should do Secret Santa? Yeah, Secret
Yeah,
Santa would be interesting, but I don't know if we'd do it. But
yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't
that's
mind.
just our school and Christmas, really. That's our school and Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it would be an interesting thing to talk about since it's something we
Yeah.
just do in terms of concerts and such. But yeah,
Something related to Christmas are Christmas movies. Seeing as we are a geek mythology show,
oh,
we have to talk about
oh,
movies and stuff.
oh,
What
it's
do you
either Christmas
watch?
movies or just movie mouth. Oh, you want to talk about TV set?
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
I think
Well,
you're forgetting the
I'll
detail that
talk
I
about.
basically didn't have a TV. You can
Okay,
talk about it
I'll
because
talk about it.
I remember
Yeah,
when I was younger, there was times where I'd watch the TV, but I've never really had TV. Basically, that's the whole reason I'm into stuff. And
thing is, okay,
yeah,
so
basically,
when you've got a
yeah.
TV
I
during
know my
Christmas
friend
time,
always mentioned
they like the BBC would probably air like and broadcast like Christmas movies, I guess,
it.
and like most of the channels would
I
show
feel like
Christmas
ITV
movies.
was more famous for it.
Oh yeah,
I
I
feel
think
like
so. Yeah.
ITV did it a bit more.
So like
Yeah.
there'd be like Elf. Have you seen that? I think it's to do with
No,
like
I
what's the
haven't.
actor's
I
name?
still have not seen that.
It's like this.
I don't know,
What's
but
his name? Basically grown man
I
with
know
an elf
Elf had some
costume.
really funny things.
So that's a
And
funny
like
movie.
he has like he has like he has like sweet spaghetti or something. That's a famous scene I know of. Where he has like
Yeah.
chocolate syrup sprinkles and everything on spaghetti,
Yeah.
which is
I mean,
interesting.
the
But
the
yeah,
big
there's some
obvious movies
other
is
stuff.
Home Alone. That's like the big obvious one to watch, I'd
Home
say.
Alone 2.
And yeah, Home
Home
Alone
Alone
2.
2.
I'd probably watch that every year. It never
Yeah.
gets old.
I mentioned earlier when I was younger, when we went to my uncle's house, we watched Harry Potter
Yeah.
as well
Harry
on
Potter.
DVD. They had the DVD,
Yeah. I
so
mean, they
we
also
watched
like
those
broadcast it on TV as well, like
as well.
I think every weekend. Wait, yeah.
Are there any Christmas films you particularly like, or you'd particularly say like stick out to you?
Okay, so there's like this there are two movies which I do remember. One is Arthur Christmas, and
Yes, I have not seen
it's like
that.
this animated movie about a kid
Yeah.
who forgot. Okay, a kid who didn't get a present, and like there's this big panic to deliver his present on time before he wakes up. Um,
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, and there's another movie which is like Daddy's Home 2, which is like this comedy, and it's set during Christmas. And they have this very American Christmas party, which is all I could say, where where they have stereotypical stuff.
Can I mention two films?
Yeah.
Which are Christmassy related, right? There's one film which I absolutely love. I've only seen it once, but I would love to see it again. But it's just an amazing film called Rise of the Guardians.
Oh, I've
You
seen
know that
that. I've
film?
seen that.
It was such a good film. I've
Yeah.
only seen it once, but I've seen people
Same.
sort of hype it up sometimes during Christmas, or like just say they love it.
Yeah.
Well, I've been following some accounts where somebody cosplayed Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians, and it's an amazing film. I love it personally. I would love to see it again sometime. Actually, to be honest. I'd love to watch it again.
I remember watching it in the cinema, and yeah.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I think it's
that's
one of the
cool.
first. When did it come out?
Came out like 2014.
It was probably one of the
I
first
I
ones.
I know I made an Instagram story of like, oh my god, this film came out this long ago. Because I was like, oh my god, no way it came out that long ago. I was like surprised, sort of.
Hmm. And the main characters are all these
Ooh,
like
2012. It's 8 years old.
yeah. So the main characters were all like these like what would you call them?
Traditional
Traditional like
traditional
figureheads,
mascots almost.
mascots like Easter Bunny,
Figureheads, yeah.
the Tooth Fairy, Santa. There was a few of them which I never actually heard about, and I assume it's to do with
Sandman.
Sandman. Did not know that was a thing, and I
I
assume,
knew of him. I knew of him,
and
but
then
he was never something I
like the
normally heard.
Bogeyman, which is the bad guy, was that his name?
Was that what he was? The bogeyman?
I don't know. I've heard of the name, but I did not know that's what the depiction of him
Okay.
was like.
I didn't realize he was. I thought he was just some evil guy. I didn't realize he was actually some
I feel like
urban legend sort of character.
it's like a thing that you tell your kids so that they behave. Like,
Yeah,
um,
that's sort of what you tell them.
tidy up your room, or the bogeyman will get you. That sort of thing. Yeah. So there are a few
Uh,
like peep characters which I
Seth?
just didn't know about. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is another film I'd like to mention.
Mhm.
Right? It's not a film I've seen though. It's not a film I've seen. I know it got like BAFTA nominated. It might have gotten an award.
Right. Yeah.
So it was a film that came out last year. Right?
Okay. Quite recent.
And I'm trying to search up the film itself. I don't think it's called Pascal. It's not called Pascal. But there was a film that came out at the
Yeah.
end of last year
Yeah.
or at the end of the year before, and it's about a film where a guy created Christmas, a guy who invented Christmas almost.
Is it called
Um,
Klaus?
yes,
Yeah.
that's the
I
name.
haven't seen it,
Popcorn Culture mentioned it.
but yeah. I haven't seen it, but I've seen it around. Yeah.
I wanted to mention it because I heard about it in Popcorn Culture. It's called Klaus. I would like to see it, but apparently it was a really good film.
Is it on
In terms of
Netflix?
like, I honestly have no idea there.
I feel like it's one of those Netflix
But
movies.
apparently, I don't know if it was Netflix, but apparently, according to what I've heard, it was a really good film.
Hmm.
Apparently, and apparently it was well sort of written, and I don't know if it was well animated.
I think
I
it's
don't know
yeah.
whether it was well animated specifically, but apparently it was just a really good film.
Yeah.
Its animation style looks. I think it is on Netflix, so maybe I'll watch it
Yeah, I've
later
seen of it, but
this
I
year.
haven't actually watched the movie. But I might watch it during
Yeah.
this
Now
Christmas
that we
season.
took, yeah, could I mention another
Okay.
thing I heard of Netflix Christmas? It was some. I Of course I've not seen this. I don't know whether it was Netflix or Amazon Prime, but there was another series that I'd read about in the newspaper called The Christmas Chronicles, and that's just a different thing. I won't mention. I don't know much about
I've
it, but I
not
just want
heard
to
of it
mention it.
at all.
Actually, this is the film I've seen, and one of the biggest Christmas films that are put on every year. Right, The Polar Express. Have you
You
seen
know
it?
what? I've seen it, but I don't like it. I think it's just the
You don't
animation
like it,
style. It just does not. I
probably.
don't connect. It's one of the animation style is not like Disney. Disney are very
Appeal to you.
good.
It doesn't appeal to you.
Disney are very good at like making their characters all emotional and
It's
they're
put in cinemas every year as
yeah.
well.
But with Polar Express, it
Yeah.
just looks like a really bad CGI. It does not. I don't feel like connected to the characters because of the
Yeah,
animation.
yeah.
Like even Toy
No,
Story, like the first Toy
yeah.
Story, that was the animation is bad because it was a really old. It's
Yes.
old. It's made in like
Have you seen
1996
the
or something.
humans in it? The humans were all bold, I swear.
Yeah, but
That's,
like
that's what I remember.
even that, like you can see the emotion in the characters' eyes to an extent. Even that was better than Polar Express.
Polar Express kind of confused me as well in terms of what was going on at some points, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Like
I wasn't confused, but
I don't know the story because it's one of those movies where I'm like, it's on
oh,
telly. I open it and I'm like, nope, I don't want to watch it. I probably only watched
yeah.
like 10 minutes of it, then
So
I watch something else. So
at some Christmas media in terms of sort of media like films and stuff like that.
yeah,
That's what we think about
hmm,
those. But do you want to move? Oh, actually, there's something we haven't mentioned, Seth, that is kind of relevant to you.
yeah,
Actually,
okay.
Holiday specials you wanted to mention.
Ah,
Star Wars
yeah.
holiday specials.
I'm gonna admit I haven't seen any. There is okay. As of recording, there is a new Star Wars holiday special gonna come out in November, but we haven't seen it. But by the
Always
time,
Lego.
by the
Isn't it
time,
always Lego
it's not
stuff?
always Lego. But by the time this episode releases, we would have seen it. It would be on Disney Plus. But the I do know of like 2 previous Star
Okay.
Wars holiday specials.
I feel like Rebels might have had a Christmas-based episode, but I might be wrong there.
Maybe. Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
but yeah, Star Wars. Just mention it briefly.
Well, yeah, we'll mention
at
it.
least.
Another big thing, which it isn't really relevant to you at least, but Christmas adverts or commercials, big thing in TV.
Yeah.
I'd
Argos!
say.
I don't know why that came into my
Oh, wow. Anyway, I'd say that
I always remember like Argos Christmas specials.
I can't speak for the
Christmas
American TV,
adverts.
but
Anyway,
British TV make amazing Christmas adverts. Like each advert would be like 30 seconds to a minute long, and it's like this cinematic, emotional, like commercial, and it doesn't even like advertise a product. It just advertises Christmas. So like, for example,
there's actually one store, or there is one company which does some cool things.
So John
every year
Lewis,
for Christmas, and that's John Lewis.
They make the really good adverts, and they don't even like advertise John Lewis. They just advertise the Christmas spirit, and
They just make an animation.
Yeah.
Right? They make an animation along to a song that a artist has covered.
Mm.
You know,
I think the most emotional one that I remember is
it's always great.
the Man on the Moon advert. Have you seen that one? So there was this advert about this. Okay, it sounds creepy, but there's this little girl who's like looking up to the moon. On the moon, there's this lonely old man, and she can see him from this telescope.
Talk about that one.
She can see this old man being all lonely on the telescope, and for Christmas, she like gives him a telescope of his own, so that this lonely man on the moon can like see her. That sounds creepy, but like the point is, the lonely man on the moon is not lonely anymore because he can see people on Earth, and he can see that little girl.
Do you know the one that I always think of in terms of John Lewis adverts? Probably the most famous one is Somewhere Only We Know, with the bear and the rabbit.
Oh no! Don't get me started on that.
Do you like it or do you not like it?
I love it.
Oh, you
but
love
the
it.
Song,
okay, I was like,
it's the song. The song is.
It's the song.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, you know the one they did last year was actually kind of cute as well.
Was that the Elton John one?
The dragon. The dragon one.
Oh, the dragon.
And Bastille sang it. And Bastille sang the song.
Thing is, the songs are amazing. The song gives it emotion, I'd say. But the dragon one was like quite sad, but hopeful in a way.
Sorry. I didn't hear that.
The dragon one was like quite sad, but hopeful.
It was
I'd
cute
say.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, do you know something I've just remembered randomly is How to Train Your Dragon sometimes did Christmas specials or had some Christmas specials, and those were just cute sometimes.
Anyway,
those were nice. We should probably move on.
We should move on to the song of the week.
I expected this to be a shorter episode, but we kind of found things to talk about.
Yeah, we've talked about songs a bit, but I do want to bring up like Christmas carols and like, well, not really Christmas carols, but like those Christmas pop songs which always play in shops and in the radio.
Every single year.
I'm really bad at music, but do you know who sang "Oh, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day"? Na 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 na. That one. I don't know who sang that.
You know the one song I know?
Yeah.
Definitely, right?
Yeah.
It's the one where like on Christmas I gave you my heart and the very next day you gave it away.
Last Christmas is one of the most overplayed songs, and I don't like it just because
honestly.
Just because it's played way too often. There are some songs which I actually quite like, but then there are some songs which you just hear over and over and over again. You just can't escape it. and that's one of them.
I know this one year. I know there's actually a new Christmas song that somebody released. I feel like it was a song by Halsey that was sort of uh
Hmm.
it was a Christmas about like being alone or like sort of not having anyone, and that sort of, I think it was called like Without Me or something. But it was a song that Halsey. It's I can't remember it well, but I
There is a
listened to the radio for
yeah,
a brief time
there is a Halsey
because
song
I
called
didn't have
"Without
anyone.
Me," but I don't know if it's
I
Christmas
don't know if
related.
that was yeah. Yeah,
I
but
fun fact
yeah,
about
there were
that.
just there were little songs.
Yeah, I mean, fun fact about "Without Me" was in one of the English lessons, which I remember having, we were doing poetry, right? And um,
When is this? I'm sorry.
you're like year 10 or 11.
Okay,
So
okay,
we're doing
yeah.
poetry, and my teacher, shout out to you if you're listening, wanted to make poetry engaging. So he was like, pick out any song and analyze it, and like songs are much
Oh,
more
that was
engaging.
something we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
we all
right.
did that.
So
Yeah,
I remember
my class did it too.
I remember picking out "Without Me" by Halsey and like analyzing it.
Oh,
So yeah, I
yeah,
remember doing
hang
that.
on. Let me search up the lyrics of "Without Me" and see if it's the one I'm thinking about because it might be. I know, like I chose some other songs as well.
Yeah.
I chose like an Imagine Dragons song. I chose like a song from a show called Buddy Fight. I actually printed out extra songs, and other people who didn't have songs, I ended up giving it to them.
Mhm.
Oh.
Um. By the way, in terms of like traditional like Christmas carols, what would you say is your favorite?
I don't really know carols, to be honest. Oh, actually, no. I probably do have a favorite I can mention because I
What is
remember
it?
it
What
and
is it?
stuff. Rudolph.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Red-nosed
That's a good
reindeer
one. I'd say
has a very shiny. Yeah, I do
I'd
like
say
it.
my favorite one is Jingle Bells. I remember
Yeah.
when I was younger, I'd we had this karaoke machine. And I'd
You had a
sing.
karaoke.
I don't know if I still have it, but when I was younger, there was this karaoke machine, and I used to always sing Jingle Bells, and I'd get like the top score. And like I remember the trick to getting to the top score was just to sing it as loud as possible. So yeah, Jingle Bells, and I also might yeah
Do you know that a version of Jingle Bells?
yeah
I always remember that. It's just so stupid. It's like jingle bells, Batman smells, or something like that. So,
that one
that exists for some
yeah
reason, right?
yeah
And it's
yeah.
just something that always comes into my mind, and I don't like it nowadays. Like
What's
when I
fun?
was
Yeah,
younger, I was like, "Oh yeah, it's funny."
it's
Now, like,
funny, but like
I don't know the song Jingle Bells, but I know Batman smells.
what's funny is the landline phone in my house, the
Yes.
ringtone is Jingle Bells. We set it for Christmas to be Jingle Bells because it was
Why?
one of those like presets which you
Why?
could set, but we never bothered changing it. So like throughout the past 2 years, whenever it rings, it's like the tune of Jingle Bells. Anyway,
Do you know something people always bring up? It's not a thing. It's just a weird thing to mention. Is like how some people get so annoyed when stores. It's like end of October or start of November, right?
yeah,
And there's Christmas decorations up. Like some people have decorations up, and you're like, it's still November.
I
Like
don't
some people
mind.
have that
I
sort of
don't
thing.
mind. Like
No, I don't really notice it.
as
Uh,
some shops even like start in September, and that's a bit weird, but November
uh,
is acceptable,
True.
I'd say.
We've talked about songs. We've talked about films. Should we talk about our own another thing about our own personal experiences with the question of the day?
Yeah, the question of the day is what is the best present you have ever received in terms of Christmas? But I guess you could mention birthdays and any other occasion.
Okay, I'd say in terms of Christmas, I haven't received many presents, so the best present I've had is probably Pokemon Black,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It was great. It's in that. It's the only Pokemon game I've ever played. If we're gonna talk about normal presents, back when I was younger, I received like some Beyblades, but they're broken now, so Pokemon Black it didn't last. So
Um.
that means Pokemon.
In terms of my favorite present, so there are two big ones which I really liked, which I remember. One was my camera, which I got, which I used a lot for YouTube videos, and
Oh, that's
yeah, so that was a Christmas present. But I think in terms of the best one, it might have been my Nintendo DS, and I think I got it when I was like
what DS is this, by the way?
DSi XL.
You got the
So
DSi.
I was probably
Nice.
like 8 or 9. don't exactly remember, but when I was a young kid, I got a Nintendo DS, and like, it was the first console I ever had, and it was maybe the only console which I actually had for a long time. So like playing the DS was a big thing, and yeah. So in terms of an impact on my childhood, that was probably one of the biggest presents that I've had. Another present which I do want to mention is this teddy dog, like a teddy bear, but it's a dog. And I still have him. He's
but it's a dog.
Sitting next to me on my bed. I got him when I was like 7. Okay, I got him in 2011, and he's still here. This dog is called Buddy. He's like a stuffed dog. Yeah, I'd say that's like another big favorite Christmas present, because like it's a dog. What can you expect from a stuffed toy dog? It's cute. It's a childhood toy, and yeah.
Yeah, that's Christmas. That's
pretty much
Christmas.
It for today's episode. We've covered presents and like Christmas traditions and like our Christmas experiences. So yeah, thanks for listening to this podcast. Yeah, just thanks a lot for sticking with us.
Thank you.
Sticking with us for this like 10 episode series. We hope to do more in the future.
6 months probably, right? Something like that. 6 months mark. Quite cool.
Yeah, so we've been doing this this is the 10th episode, so thanks for watching this special Christmas special, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you in future episodes. So don't forget to follow and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Have a good day, have a good evening, whatever.
And Merry Christmas.